Yo guys, JC Otaku here. Welcome back to JC's Daz Corner. Today is episode 4. I actually recorded this on 2 different days, so you'll probably notice a difference in quality. Sorry about that. What I was basically trying to do is use Daz Studio with OBS, but it still didn't work, unfortunately. So, yeah. But stay tuned for the second part of the video, though, because there's a bit of interesting things in there. I will show you how to basically import a character and just talking about the Surface tab a little bit, how to change certain parameters in DAZ. But let's start with a picture analysis because I think that's what my show will be mostly famous for, is my critique of other people's work. And this particular one comes from Greg Rist. It's from Facebook. Actually, all the pictures I take are from Facebook groups. I'm not monetizing it or anything. So yeah, this is not my work, okay? I started with this one not because it's a spectacular image. I actually know what this set is. I've seen it before. I didn't use it, but I do know about it. And the snowman himself, I did use before in one of my pictures. It was a picture where there's a woman playing like a violin in the future, and the snowman is behind her, kind of clapping, and he's wearing like a suit, etc., which was pretty complicated to do actually because he's not supposed to wear a suit. But anyway, here the interesting parts are the snow that he's shoveling. Now, I'm not sure what that is because obviously that's not part of the set, I think. Maybe it's taken from somewhere else and he just kind of moved the pieces around. I'm not sure. But the one thing I wanted to comment on here mostly is holding objects. If you worked with Daz or Poser, or I'm sure other programs are similar as well, holding things is a pain in the ass. Like, seriously, adjusting all the fingers and making sure that the angle of your wrist is correct, etc., etc. It's actually a lot of work. This is work that a lot of people don't appreciate because they don't even understand like how much work it takes, right? So yeah, I do it sometimes because obviously my characters hold objects from time to time, and it's always a pain in the neck. All right, let's look at the next one. So let me see here. Let's go to this one first. Just gonna resize it. Okay, now this one, oh, by the way, the first one, like the one I just showed you, I really don't think it's for sale. I would really be surprised once again. Now, this one, I don't know, it may be for sale, but okay, here's an interesting thing about this one. I know this Mexican restaurant set, right? It's actually like a fairly new release, I think. It just came out like quite recently, maybe a week ago or something, maybe less. And my question here is, by the way, this is from, who is it? Mauro Fioravanti. Okay, it's on Facebook as well. Now, my question here is, I wonder seriously if people are buying these materials, these characters, this environment, etc. Because I know certain websites out there that basically publish these models for free. So yeah, it's not really for free. Technically, you need to register, and there's a point system, etc., etc. But essentially, like you're paying with these points, which are free, and you don't actually buy the product. So I find it very odd usually that when a new set comes out, somebody like in the next day or two already posts an image with it. I'm not saying that they are, pirates and they're stealing shit, but if they actually do that, doesn't look good on them, man. Doesn't look good on us either because you know how it goes, right? I mean, people paint everything with a broad brush these days. So it's like if one person is doing, then everybody assumes that everybody's doing it. That's basically the mentality these days. Anyway, I'm not saying that this is stolen, but I mean, if it is, don't do that. Don't do that. And especially like, man, later, like if you sell it, you stole something and now you're making money from it. That's just, that doesn't sit right with me. I'm sorry. All right, let's look at the next one. By the way, the picture itself is quite average. All right, let's look at the next one. Let's go to this one first. Don't save. Okay, there we go. Oh, this one is too small. Usually it's too big, but this one is too small. There we go, a little bit better. All right, so this one is by Odessa Artworks. So there's no name there. It's just the kind of name of the company or something. And so yeah, this one, girl in a bar. I think this one, I'm not sure if it's for sale or not. It's always hard to tell in that case. Honestly, I don't think so, but it could be. I don't know. But the picture itself is not that amazing. I mean, the lighting looks very kind of uniform. It's like I said in the last show, when you have a room and it's just this kind of very uniform lighting. It's boring. Like it's okay for indoors. It's okay for your house, you know, just because you want to get around. But if you're trying to make like art, if you're trying to make an actual interesting picture, you have to make light a bit more interesting and engaging. So yeah, this is not the case here. This is just as flat as it goes, really. Yeah, there's a bit of shadow on her, but it looks like there's like a source from the kind of top, which makes sense because that would be the ceiling light. And I think there might be a light from the side or something, and there's no light in like from the front, right? But yeah, I don't know. It's not very good lighting. The thing itself is like okay, but yeah, it's just okay for me. Nothing special. All right, two more, and then I'll jump to the next section. So the next one we'll look at is probably this one. This one is huge, I think. Yeah, that's better. This one is by Eric Gasiurovsky. I'm probably butchering the names as usual. Sorry about that. All right, so this one here, so pretty simple scene. It's just a woman like sitting on a, I'm not sure what that is actually. Is it just a, I don't know. It's just a plane, I think, and then black in the back. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. I think the hair is a little bit strange for me, like the way that it's kind of floating around. I'm not too convinced about that, but yeah, again, it's probably a preset pose, I guess. Nothing too special. The lighting is okay, but yeah, nothing too special. I'm not like, look, I'm not picking. I'm picking pictures at random, really. Sometimes there's a lot to say, and sometimes not really. Is this for sale? Probably not. It just looks like something you put on Facebook or something. And the last one we're going to look at is this one. So this one is huge. Now that one is gigantic. There we go. All right, so this one, I quite like this one actually. So I think like the ground itself could be like a bit better. I mean, it just doesn't look that great, but that's not the fault of the person who made it. By the way, this is made by Jackie McClements. It's from Facebook as well. And yeah, this is not her fault. This is just the way the set is. So yeah, you can't really do much. What I would say here is maybe to make it a little bit better, you could just export the background without the actor and use some kind of filters to make it a little bit better. I'm not talking about AI filters. Now that, look, don't get me started on AI, okay? Just don't. I'm talking about like kind of regular photo filters. some programs do that. I know that a very long time ago there was a program called Microsoft Picture It, and that one, well, obviously it's very primitive. Find something more recent. But I think like Luminar Neo does it a little bit as well. There are others, but yeah, try to maybe spice up the quality a little bit. Yeah, it's not great in DAZ, but maybe you can do something with filters to make it just a little bit more interesting. The focus here is pretty good, I think. So the yeah, the area around her is in focus as well, but then behind her, and actually in the very front as well, it's out of focus, but that's fine. The mountains are out of focus. There, if you look at the sky, actually, I didn't really notice that the first time I looked at it, but if you look at the sky, there is a kind of line going, curving, I should say, and I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that is, but it could be, some kind of planetary ring system that just like we see like the very edge or one side of it. I don't know. I'm not sure what it is exactly, but yeah, it's interesting. Why not? And in theory, yeah, you could add more things in the back. I don't know. You could add like a moon or a planet or something. Sometimes I do that in my pictures. The model itself, it's okay. I mean, the lighting feels a little bit strange for some reason, but I'm not sure exactly why. But overall, I think it's okay, and yeah, I'm fine with this actually. So, all right, let's jump into the second part of this video, and now I'm gonna basically show you how to import a DAZ generic character, and we're gonna look at the Surface tab a little bit. So join me. Okay, so let's look at DAZ very quickly, and I promised last week that I'm going to show you the Iray renderer. Well, I tried to record it, but unfortunately it did the same kind of thing, even on that computer. Yeah, it's basically, it doesn't record properly. It's very, very choppy. Sometimes it just kind of stops actually recording altogether, and it's just very weird. So unfortunately it doesn't work. I think it's because my graphics card is a 1080, and obviously, it's an old card. I'm not sure if a new card would fare better, but it's possible. So I don't know. If you record OBS and DAZ Studio, if you're using the Iray renderer in DAZ at the same time, please let me know the settings you're using, because I'd really like to know. For me, it's just, yeah, it just kind of, it just locks up or something. It's too much, so it can't do it. It can't do both. So today I will show you a Genesis 8 female character. This is the default that comes with the software. I think initially you had to buy it or something, but I believe now it comes with the software. So I don't know. It's you'll have to check it out, because right now they're up to Genesis 9, you see, and yeah, so Genesis 8 is becoming a little bit old. If you go here, so this is the parameters, right? This is where you change the x-axis, etc., etc. That's what I did last time. I showed you with the cube. But today I want to show you the surfaces tab, because this is a character. It's much more interesting than the cube. And if you open the surfaces tab, you're going to see basically a bunch of textures that come with the character. Okay, so the texture is like I explained last time. It's basically if you have someone's face, for example, it's like if you take the face off, right, and then you kind of flatten it out, and that's the texture. Okay, so I have no idea how to make textures, but I will show you later how to edit them though. Okay, so when you open this tab, it's going to show you all the different surfaces. For example, arms, cornea, ears, face. But let's go with torso, because it's a large area. And if you click on the base color here, let's say you want pink, right? So you can do that, and boom, your skin automatically becomes pink. But the texture itself still remains the same, okay? It's just gonna change the color. I'm not sure why you would use that, but maybe sometimes you would have use for it. I don't know. let's undo that. And the other thing I want to show you here really, so there's also a bunch of parameters here for glossiness. And glossiness is like, it almost, an easy way to explain it, it's almost like if the skin is wet, it will reflect more. And this is okay, but the skin actually, like I have a light right there, and the skin does, you can see like the kind of light reflection on it, right? But you have to be careful, because if you put too much of it, your character is going to look like a doll and completely fake. Okay, so you have to really kind of just go around the room, look at your skin, look at how the light falls down, and just kind of study what it looks like, and then try to replicate it in DAZ. Basically, that's my best advice. So yeah, glossiness is here. If you want to reduce it, you can do that with the sliders. And the other thing I want to show you is just here, the emission color. So for example, maybe you want your character to emit the color. Now, obviously, look, this is not useful for characters, but if you have a prop, let's say you have a light bulb, right? You obviously want it, well, maybe not, but maybe you also want it to shine light, okay? And in that case, you have to use the emission parameter. So the way it works is that you pick a color, you can change the temperature as well if you want, and then basically you change the luminance. Now with the luminance, I usually find that 35,000 is good, but it's up to you. You'll have to experiment with it. It's whatever you want, really. Unfortunately, here again, I can't show you what it looks like really, but if you bump up that number to, let's say, 5 million, then you can actually start seeing it, on the legs, etc. Like here, you can't see it, but yeah, if you put the iRay renderer on right now, then you can. And also, if you have an environment, let's say she's in a room or something, yeah, the room is probably going to be illuminated by her torso. So again, this can be kind of interesting, because maybe you want like the hand to be glowing or something. It just gives you more options to experiment with. That's all. All right, I think really that's all I wanted to show you today. Like I said, DAZ is very, very deep. There's a lot of options here, and you really need like many, many hours to explain everything. Obviously, I don't have that amount of time, so I have to kind of cut it into small pieces so it's easy to digest. All right, I'm going to stop myself here for today, or otherwise I can go on forever. And I will see you on the next episode. So take care, stay safe, and peace.